Who are some of the players that you've sort of modeled your game after that we would know of, obviously, in the NFL? And then how do you envision yourself fitting into an offense that has already a lot of weapons at wide receiver?
Really, I'll say like I kind of model like my game is like kind of like Devontae Adams, Kamara, like just like just you know what I'm saying, like just quick, dynamic, just you know what I'm saying, like explosive, like because Kamara like he real explosive, like real elusive, but really coming into an offense that's already full, I guess you could say, or packed. I mean, I just want to just play my role or whatever my job is. I just do it to the best of my ability, like.
Hey, what's going on? This is Sports Vibes TV. I'm your host, Quis, and in this video, we're going to be grading the Giants' first round pick. So with our first pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Giants selected Kadarius Toney from Florida University. Now, I think he is a dynamic wide receiver, but we'll have to see if this was the right selection for the Giants. So before I get into it, if you like this video, I would just ask you to consider subscribing, smashing that like button, and hitting the bell icon. That way you're notified whenever I drop a new video. So let's get right into it. So when grading this pick, I have to factor in everything that happened leading up to the selection. So we originally had the 11th pick, and Dave Gettleman was able to be flexible, to be nimble, moved back with the Chicago Bears, netted us an additional first round pick for next season. And I think it was, well, one, it was shocking because Dave Gettleman has never done this in the first round of a draft. And two, it was great to see him be able to be like, all right, Eagles, Cowboys, you guys want to do us dirty? I got something in the bag for you. So we were able to move back, and we were still able to get a dynamic weapon at wide receiver. So he's definitely going to get bonus points for that. Now, when it comes to Toney and what he can do for us on the field, the options are endless. This kid can line up anywhere on the field. He can line up outside. He can line up in the slot. He can go into motion. He can be in the backfield. Like when they were speaking to him, they asked him, how does he try to mirror his game? Whose play style does he most resemble? And he said Alvin Kamara. And when you look at his stats, he does have some pretty decent rushing stats. 66 attempts, 580 yards, 8.8 average, 8.8 yards per carry average, and 2 touchdowns. So on top of being a threat as a receiver, we can also put him in the backfield and see what he can do. Not only can we put him in the backfield and see what he can do, he also was a high school quarterback. You know, he also threw, if I'm not mistaken, he threw for a couple touchdowns in college. So if Jason Garrett is able to be creative and put him in some situations where not only could he be catching passes from Daniel Jones, but also be throwing a deep pass to Kenny Golladay or whatever kind of crazy trick plays Garrett can scheme up, I think it's going to be an exciting brand of football when this guy is on the field. And at this point, Jason Garrett, Daniel Jones, they have no excuses. Gettleman went out there and he added a bunch of pieces that are going to help make this offense one of the most dynamic in the NFL. We still have to address offensive line a little bit, but outside of that, I think this is the most weapons the Giants have had in years. And to add Kadarius Toney, I think is just icing on the cake. He's coming into a situation where he doesn't have to carry the passing game. He's going to be used in, like, I like what he said when he interviewed him. He said, I'm going to be used in roles where I'm needed. You know, he's understanding that he's coming into a loaded offense and he's not going to try to do more than what's asked of him. And I think that's perfect when you're talking about when you're talking about Joe Judge and the kind of environment that the Giants have. Do your job, do your role, and everything is going to be good. So I definitely do like this pick. Also, when it comes to his yards after catch, he was 11th most. He had the 11th most yards after catch in the country during his senior year. So with that being said, if Jason Garrett can dial up some nice play action, like imagine a play action where Daniel Jones is faking the ball to Saquon, and now he's bringing in the linebackers, and Kadarius Toney has all this space to operate behind the linebackers. I think the Giants are going to be a nightmare for opposing defensive coordinators. And to me, the sky's the limit this season. With what they've done with the offensive weapons, and to see what they've done on defense, which we'll get into in another video, man, the Giants are going to be legitimate contenders for the NFC East. And I would not be shocked if we were able to get into the playoffs and make a decent run. But before I start getting into my fandom a little too much, let me give you the draft grade for Kadarius Toney. I'm giving this draft grade an A. I think this addresses everything that the Giants need in a wide receiver right now, especially when you look at the additions that we made already, bringing in Galladay and bringing in Ross. Not only that, I'm giving the bonus points for the additional first round pick in the 2022 draft. This is going to give us additional insurance just in case Daniel Jones or Jason Garrett don't get this team where it needs to be. Because let's be honest, if the Giants don't perform well, 3 people are probably going to be losing their jobs: Gettleman, Jones, and Garrett. So Gettleman has done all he can do in this offseason to field a productive team. It's all going to come down now to the coaches and to the players. So let me know what you think. Let me know what your grades are for this draft down below in the comments at this point in the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, I think now would be a great time to do so. Once again, I'm Quis. Thank you for watching the video. This is Sports Vibes TV, and I'm out.